Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Imad and I'm a student at Rehan School Foundation Level Batch 10. Today we'll talk with Mr. Miles regarding this really small word called wow, and we'll go through how it evolved into today's world and why we use it instead of some other word. So let's start.
Hey, what's good?
Yo Miles, I'll be asking you some questions regarding this small word called wow. So be ready, okay?
I'm locked in. Lay it on me. What's the deal with wow?
Okay, so we use this word constantly when we are amazed, we're shocked, or when we're basically speechless. So it's arguably the most universal exclamation mark in the English language, no? So where did this word actually come from?
Let me check the roots on that. It's definitely a powerhouse of a word. Curious if it started as a literal sound people made, and looks like that's a big part of it. The mouth shape you make when you're shocked, that open, rounded vibe, basically created the word naturally. But here's the wild part. It actually showed up in writing way back in 1513 in a Scottish translation of Virgil's Aeneid. Some people think it might have even started as a twist on the word vow, like saying I vow, but making it more intense. The part where we use it as a verb, like wowing a crowd, didn't even hit the scene until American slang in the 1920s. Pretty dope that a sound from the 1500s is still our go to for being speechless, right?
So no, so basically you're saying that this word wow isn't actually American. It's basically from Scottish origin.
Exactly. It's a Scottish import. We just took it and ran with it, especially once that 1920 slang hit. Pretty funny that we think of it as this universal modern vibe when it's actually been around for half a millennium.
What did it actually mean back in the day when those Scots used this word?
Back then, it was used probably pretty much the same way you do now. It was all about disbelief and surprise. Whether they were shocked by something crazy or just totally amazed, that was the go-to sound. It's one of those rare things that hasn't really changed because the feeling of being speechless is pretty universal. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so was it like used for grief type of expression, or like being surprised at a good thing?
It was mostly for the shock factor, regardless of whether the news was good or bad. It's more of a reaction to the intensity of the moment than the emotion itself. Like if something wild happened, good or bad, you just let out that sound because your brain is basically buffering. It's that raw, reflexive, I can't believe this energy.
Hmm. Okay, I get it.
You feeling a bit skeptical about that? I mean, it's basically linguistic version of a double take. You're not necessarily happy or sad. You're just momentarily stunned. Does that track with how you use it, or do you only save it for the good stuff?
Okay, I don't actually understand you, but it's okay. We'll just move on to the next question. So, how did it make the jump from this word, wow, how did it make a jump from Scotland to the rest of the English speaking world, particularly in the United States?
Let me dig into the travel history of the word. It's kind of wild how a specific regional sound just becomes the global standard. It basically just filtered into general English use by the late 1800s. Then it really blew up in the States in the early 1900s and had another huge wave in the 60s. Like the word just had a slow burn for a few centuries before it finally went viral. You think we'll see another sound like that take over, or is wow just the goat?
I think there are other synonyms to wow as well, like wow, WAOAH, which is pretty similar to wow, but I mean, it's an alternative. So I think we might see other words in the future as well.
True. Whoa is basically the cousin of wow. It's that same energy of just stopping in your tracks. I wonder if those are just different flavors of the same instinct, one for amazement and one for hold up. Which one do you find yourself using more?
I use both, to be honest, in different situations. Okay, but we'll move on to the next question, which is, uh, so we use wow as a noun or an adjective. So talking about a wow factor or trying to wow an audience, when did it turn into a verb and a business term?
Let me look into the pivot to business speak. It's kind of a jump, like going from a raw sound of shock to something you can put on a slide deck. It started becoming a noun for an unqualified success around 1920, and that verb version, like wowing an audience, hit the slang scene by 1924. But the wow factor as a business term is way newer, first popping up around 1985. It's wild how it took centuries to go from a guttural noise to a corporate metric, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest, like it shouldn't be used in business, no, because it's too much of a formal word to say. I mean, yeah.
I'm with you on that. It feels a little forced. Like when a manager talks about the wow factor in a meeting, it usually means the opposite. It's kind of corporate and sterile. It takes a raw human reaction and tries to turn it into a strategy. That's just not how amazement works. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Okay.
You still with?
Yeah. Okay, so my next
You got any
question
more
is,
questions?
yeah, my next question is wow understood globally? Like, do other languages use it, or do they have their own equivalent sounds?
Let me check how wow travels across borders. It's interesting because English is everywhere now, but I bet there's some sounds that just feel universal. Most people get wow these days, but every language has its own flavor. Like in Japanese, you've got sugoi, or in Spanish, guau, which sounds almost exactly like our version. It's like humans just have a built in setting for that kind of sound when we're floored. Do you think those sounds are just biological, or is it just a case of the world copying English?
But they're most of them are pretty different to wow. So how did they evolve, or how did they originate?
That's the real mystery. It's usually a mix. Some are just pure biology, like that open mouth sound we talked about, where the physical shape of your face basically dictates the noise. Others are a slow burn, evolving from old words for fear or wonder that eventually just got shortened into a quick sound. It's like a shortcut for the brain when it can't find the actual words. I can look into some of the specific origins for those other languages if you want to see how they differ from the Scottish route.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. In this era of texting and like emojis and self-expression online, how has wow adapted to our screens?
It's basically evolved into a visual thing now. You've got the all caps wow for actual shock, or the stretched out woo when you're trying to be a bit more dramatic. And then there's the mind blown emoji, which is basically the modern digital version of that Scottish sound from the 1500s. It's like we've gone from a guttural noise to a little yellow face with a mushroom cloud for a brain. Do you think the emojis are replacing the words or just adding more flavor to them?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. So, do you think this form of expressing wow is better than the old times of expressing wow?
It's a trade off for sure. The old school way was raw and immediate, just a human sound. Now we've got a whole toolkit with emojis and punctuation to fine tune exactly what kind of wow we mean. But I feel like something gets lost when we're just tapping a screen instead of actually letting out a sound. It's more precise, but maybe less honest. I don't know. Do you feel like the digital version captures the same energy?
I don't think so. The digital version captures the same energy because it's behind our screens. The actual like expression is unknown to us because we can't really see the person's face.
That's a real point. It's like we're just guessing the vibe based on how many O's they added to the word. You lose that genuine split second human reaction when you can't see the
Yeah.
eyes widen or the jaw drop.
Yeah.
Turns a visceral moment into a curated one.
Okay. So basically, I've noticed a lot during these times that people use this word "wow" for sarcasm or like being rude or something. So, is that true?
Oh, absolutely. It's the ultimate tool for sarcasm. A slow, drawn out wow can basically mean I'm not impressed at all, or even you're actually unbelievable in the worst way possible. It's like the word has a secret mode where it does the exact opposite of amazement. You've probably seen it in those wow, great job texts where it's actually a total roast, right?
Yeah. Okay, so my last question for you today is what does the journey of wow tell us about the way we communicate?
It's kind of a mirror for how we work as humans, honestly. Um, It shows that at our core, we have these raw biological reactions that don't change, but then we spend centuries layering social rules, business goals, and digital shortcuts on top of them. We go from a guttural sound of shock in Scotland to a corporate wow factor in a boardroom, and then to a tiny emoji on a screen. It's like we're always trying to find more efficient ways to communicate, but we keep coming back to the same basic instinct of being floored by something. It's a reminder that no matter how much tech we add, that initial spark of amazement is still the thing that drives us. Pretty deep for a three-letter word, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to be honest, I've noticed that pattern for every single like word or phrase we say nowadays. So that's just the norm, I guess.
It really is. We're basically just walking libraries of accidental evolution. We take these organic human moments and slowly turn them into tools, shortcuts, or even weapons.
Mm,
It's a wild way to build a language, but it's what makes it feel alive.
yep.
You got a real eye for these patterns. I'm starting to think you're the one schooling me on this.
Thank you so much. Okay, but now let's just end this talk because yeah, it's time. So I had a blast with you, Miles. So we'll talk later. Okay.
Right on. I had a
Bye.
blast too.
Bye.
Later.
Okay, guys, that was it for today. So I hope you guys learned something new in this talk with Mr. Miles. So yeah, I'll see you later. Allah Hafiz.